Be seated. Welcome, everyone. It is wonderful to see you here. I know we've got a lot of out-of-towners. It might get a little hot today, but don't be scared. It's only a dry heat. Let me welcome you to our 2022 White Coat Ceremony for the class of 2026. I'm Dr. Bob Trombley, Dean of the Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health at ATSU University, and on behalf of the faculty, staff, students, and residents of our school and university, welcome. Today marks a very special moment in the life of our school as we welcome the class of 2026 who are beginning their journey into the profession. And we'd like to start today's ceremony with Dr. Mai Li Duong, Associate Professor, Director of our Special Care Clinic, ASDOH alum, class of 2012, who will be singing our national anthem.
Can I please ask everyone to rise and turn your heads to the flag? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Dr. Duong. Next on our program is the blessing from Dr. George Blue Spruce. Unfortunately, Dr. Blue Spruce, our Assistant Dean for American Indian Affairs, is not able to attend today's ceremony. However, he has pre-recorded his blessing for this White Coat ceremony. We're very proud to have Dr. Blue Spruce as part of our faculty. He's not only the first American Indian to graduate from a U.S. dental school, he's also served as our nation's Assistant Surgeon General. He continues to inspire generations of American Indians to pursue a career in dentistry. So please turn your attention to the screen for the blessing.
I'm a full-blood member of the Pueblo tribe of New Mexico, and there's 19 villages that make up the Pueblo tribe, and I come from 2 of those villages in terms of my dad and my mother. And there's 4 dialects that are spoken among the Pueblo people, and my invocation is going to be in the dialect of my mother. That's the Tewa dialect of the Pueblo language. Sangi Samu, Novitawa Imui, Hichungadi Opowa, Kunta Woha, Okeawengi, Kuishti, Naimbe Sendo Yosi Tala, Din Toyan, Umbi Eyandimu, Din Fewana Nee Sawandita, Din Fewana Nee Wengi, Din Fewana Nee Kogi, Din Fewana Nee Iwandi Toan, Kunta Woha Naimbe, Kunta Wawatsi, Kunta naembe, kunta eka, kunta wawasi, sangareho, and moy. Amen.
I'd now like to take a moment to introduce the members of our stage party, and I'm going to start on my right with Dr. Craig Phelps, President of AT-Still University, Dr. Regina Cobb, Executive Director of the Arizona Dental Association and Arizona State Representative of Legislative District Number 5, Dr. David Frosto, President of the Arizona Dental Association, Mr. Clinton Normore, our Vice President for Diversity and Inclusion here at AT-Still, Dr. Gary Cloud, Vice President and Strategic Partnerships, University Partnerships. On my left, our Vice Dean at the Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health, Dr. Wayne Cobb, Dr. Jeff Parent, our Associate Dean for Patient Care and Clinic Education and Chair of our Admissions Committee, Dr. Mai-Li Duong, Director of our Special Care Dentistry and Associate Professor, Maria Beckett, Vice President of the Class of 2023. In the second row, starting on my right, Dr. Lindsay Springer, Comprehensive Care Unit Director and member of the Admissions Committee, Ms. Kim Lovell, Clinic Instructor, member of our Admissions Committee, Dr. Scott Howell, Director of Public Health Dentistry and Teledentistry, member of our Admissions Committee, and Dr. Roy Halexa, Comprehensive Care Unit Director and member of our Admissions Committee. On my left, Dr. Maureen Perry, Associate Dean for Advanced Education and Strategic Partnerships, and Dr. Janet Walt, Associate Dean for Academic Assessment. Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Since I become dean, I've shared this quote at our white coat ceremony, as well as our commencement. And it's from Rumi, a 13th century Persian Islamic poet. And it's this: "It's your road and yours alone. Others may walk with you, but no one can walk it for you." And I share this with you today for a few reasons. Today is a day of both celebration and reflection. So I'd like the class of 2026 right now to reflect a little bit on the road that you've traveled that brought you here today, not the traffic one. And think about the experiences that you've had, the ups and downs, the successes, a few failures along the way as well. But it's made you who you are today. And it's brought you here to AT-Still University, our Arizona School of Dentistry and Oral Health, as a member of the class of 2026. And I don't know what your road consisted of. I'm not part of the admissions committee. Our admissions committee members probably have a better idea. But I know it was full of tremendous accomplishment and successes that got you here. So let's start by celebrating the road that you've traveled. Everyone, let's give a big hand for the members of the class of 2026. So it might be your road, but others did travel with you, right? So I want to take a second for you to have you reflect a little bit about those who did travel with you, those who helped you along the road, your teachers, your mentors, your friends, your family, your loved ones. And I know many of them are here today. I know some are streaming in on our live stream, and I'm sure there are others that are here in spirit. But let's take a moment now to have you stand up, class of 2026, turn around and give a big shout out and a thank you to the friends, family, and loved ones who helped you along the way. Plus, now they can see where you're seated at a little bit better. This is also a time to reflect and celebrate your entry into our profession. And of course, the white coat today will be part of that, as well as the oath that you take. And to maybe call in a little more contemporary quote, and I didn't have a chance to look this up. I don't know if it was either Spider-Man or Peter Parker, but with great power comes great responsibility. And we talked yesterday, Dr. Cobb and I, with you about those professional obligations as you join the profession. And I know that we're excited to welcome you today as you enter into it. We also talked yesterday a little bit about the white coat history, and so at the risk of being a little repetitive for the class members of 2026, assuming they're awake and paying attention, I'd like to just briefly say a few words about the white coat. We all, associate the white coat with healthcare providers, but it certainly wasn't always that way. If you went back into the mid-1800s and earlier, you would see artist renderings, photographs of physicians, dentists wearing a black coat. And that's because in that era, before the scientific method, it was an apprenticeship model. It was very much a formal thing to go to see a physician or a dentist, and it was often something of last resort. There is also kind of a practical reason when you wear black, you don't see the dirt and all the stains from the procedures, but we don't want to reflect on that. But as the scientific method evolved, as we began to understand asepsis, in the late 1800s, there began a shift in medical and dental education to the white coat. And that began the use of the white coat, white gowns, white sheets in hospitals, et cetera, et cetera. And that also began to separate those trained in the scientific method from those who were perhaps providing treatment of more questionable note. The white coat ceremony itself is actually a relatively recent tradition. It didn't start until 1993, and it was Dr. Arnold Gold at Columbia's medical school who started that tradition about 30 years ago. And now it's been adopted and is utilized by virtually every health care program, educational program in the country. Class of 2026, one of the things that you need to realize and understand, and I know some of you do, is that white coat does represent different things to different people. And so many of the patients that you're going to see might relate that white coat more as a symbol of power or authority, absolute knowledge, or fear, anxiety, and discomfort. In fact, it's so common, there's what we call the white coat syndrome. But for most of your patients, it's going to represent hope and opportunity and being an equal partner in managing their health. And as we talked about to your peers, your family, this coat may represent accomplishment and fulfillment of a dream. It's going to represent your acceptance of your social contract, as we discussed yesterday, and we'll talk through the obligations within the oath today. It represents honesty, integrity, trust, responsibility, respect, collegiality, compassion. In short, your obligations to the profession are really, keeping it simple, just do the right thing, even when no one is watching. Now, a question often comes up when we you get your white coat and you're ready to go, and hey, when do I get to wear my white coat? And my answer to that's always been, starting today, you are always wearing your white coat. Others will always view you as wearing that white coat. So every time you interact with your classmates, with your faculty, with your staff, with your future patients, with your friends, your family, members of the community, however you act, whether positive or negative, will influence and shape others' perceptions not only of yourself, but your school, university, profession. The last comment I wanted to make before I turn it over to some of the other members of the stage party, and you've heard this more than once in the past week, I know that, the competition ends today. Each of you is responsible for your classmates' success. You're not here just to learn, you are here to teach. And if you all work together, you will exceed your greatest expectations. So welcome to the ATSU-ASDOH family. Thank you. So I want to start comments from other members of the stage party with the Vice President of the class of 2023, Maria Beckett. Come on up.
Thank you, Dr. Trombley, for such an amazing speech. Good to see you all again. I would like to start this with welcoming family and friends of the class of 2026. It's honestly an honor for me here today to stand and share a few words with you. But before I do that, I want to again congratulate you and welcome to the family of ASDOH. You're finally one of us now. I'm going to start with a couple of tips if you're not from Arizona. Always have a full Hydro flask with ice because summer here is not a joke, as you've all experienced this week. Sunscreen is going to be your new best friend. Like, I'm serious, it's going to be your new best friend. And honestly, a portable fan never hurt anybody. Arizona is full of beautiful scenery, and please take the time to get to know all the scenery, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna be very familiar with it with Dr. Cotham's module of head and neck very soon. He's gonna make you very aware of all of them. So take the time to yourself and get to know Arizona. Now, some of you are finally thinking right now, finally, I'm here, I made it. And you did, and I'm very proud of you, and everybody here should be proud of you as well. But my friends, this is only the beginning of your journey. After all your long nights during undergrad of OChem, GChem, physics, and all the other classes and labs you had to take, and obviously the DET, we're not gonna forget about that one, you showed your perseverance and discipline. And I want you to keep that same passion and persistence during your time here at ASDOH. Here, you will turn your aspirations into achievements. You will foster valuable connections. You will learn a lot, and you will use your talents to serve others as you strive to make this world a better place. The last couple of years has shown everybody that we can accomplish anything we want to when we stand together for the greater good. You are much stronger and much more valuable than you think you are. As for dental school, it's challenging. Becoming a doctor is a huge responsibility. The way you learn material and understand it is going to be much more important and relevant to your education today than ever before. You're going to have to manage your time very wisely to be the most efficient. Dental school is not difficult, but it takes very hard work to be very good. I'm gonna say that again. Dental school is not difficult, but it takes very hard work to be very good. And I believe that if you chose ASDOH and we chose you, you belong here. I want to share this quote from my favorite author. His name is Jordan Peterson. He said, "Don't compare yourself with other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday." That's something I want you to remember every day for the next 4 years. Focus on yourself and how to develop your own set of skills. And ASDOH will always be here to help you. And for those of you that doubted yourself and continue to do so, take a moment and look where you're sitting here today. Don't look back, and much like the Arizona sun this week, your future is as bright. Don't be too hard on yourself and be kind. Learn to let go of things you cannot control. Also, be kind to one another. You will meet some of your best friends in this class, friends that will last a lifetime. And lastly, please have a great time and make this journey absolutely unforgettable. Welcome.
Thank you, Maria. That was great. If you want, we can make arrangements. You could come back every year as a class officer. I have the ability of keeping you within the senior class. No? Okay. Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Regina Cobb, Executive Director of the Arizona Dental Association, who will be giving you a welcome from the AZDA.
I'm going to raise this up. I'm a little taller than she is. Good morning and welcome and congratulations to all of our students and welcome family members. I'm so excited to have all of you here. They asked me to wear a white coat this morning, honestly, Dr. Trombley just talked to you a little bit about history and said 30 years ago, that was the year I graduated. And I don't even think most of you were probably born that year. So this is my white coat today because I'm not sure where the other one is, and I'm sure it doesn't look white anymore. So it's been retired since then. I'm a politician and a storyteller, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background on me. Each of you's got a different journey, and your journey is going to bring you here, and it's going to take you other places. I was one of 14 kids, my first one to graduate in my family. And when I sat in that chair and was sitting where you are, my heart was like jumping out of my chest, thinking, I'm really here. I can't believe I'm doing this. And then reality hit, of course, 4 years later when I was graduating from Case Western Reserve University in 1993. And we would graduate with the law students also. And I looked over and there was twice as many law students as there were dentists, and I said, this is not a good sign. So that's, it just kind of depicts where our world has gone and where we're going. After I got into dental school, I came to Arizona in 93 when I graduated. I started going up through component societies as doing their chairs and as president, and then eventually went up and became president of the Dental Association of Arizona, sitting where Dr. Frosto's sitting right now. And then after I completed being my presidency, which is a very difficult year, I became our Council on Government Affairs chair. So for 7 years, I was the chair of Council on Government Affairs, and I spoke with the legislator. And then in 2015, I became a legislator myself. Now through that time, I got to tell you, there's so many experiences that I can express to you that brought my path that direction. Now I'm back here with you again as your Arizona Dental Association Executive Director in organized dentistry, doing exactly what I did before, but pulling all the tools and having all of the skill sets that were given to me throughout my careers and bringing them back and molding them into one career right now. And that path was my path. What I was told when I first graduated was, what you have is a gift. You have a gift today of education. When you graduate, you're going to have a gift of skills. Those skills you can do with whatever you want to do with them. I did some service missions in Vietnam, in Honduras, Mexico. You can do whatever you want to do with those. And those is where I really felt the gift was given to me by God, because I was able to give to other people in a third world country that honestly their dentistry was from the 1920s and 1930s. And then I'm bringing the modern dentistry into their world. So those are some things that paths that you can take. There are others that have more difficult paths than mine. I have a legislator that sits next to me that was a boat person from Vietnam. I had talked to a young man last week, had dinner with a young man, a brand new graduate that was exiled from Syria. So there are other paths that are more difficult than mine and more difficult than yours, but you've got to create the path as you go forward and use the gift that you're going to have, because you will have a gift, and use it to the best of your ability. Today, I'm looking at all of you and I don't know you, but in 4 years, I'm hoping that we're going to be all hugging each other, because I want to know you. I want to know who you are. I want to know your journey. I want to know your path, and I want you to get to know us also at the Dental Association, because we are a family too, and we want to be part of the ASDOH family also. And I'm hoping every one of you, when I graduated, when I went in on my white coat ceremony, before that, they said, look right, look left, one of you is going to be gone in the next 4 years. I'm hoping every one of you, I see every face here when you graduate in 4 years from now. And the last piece of advice I want to give you is because I'm between you and your white coat ceremony, so, is to just savor every moment. Work as hard as you can, as she said. Yeah, I mean, work is what really gives you that substance when you get out. Have ethics. One of the things I said in my office always was, do not treat a patient any differently than you would treat your mom, your sister, your dad, your brother, your child. And think about that as you treatment plan, as you go through your world, is just make sure you wouldn't treat anybody else any differently than you would your family, and then you know you're in the right place. But gain as much experience, absorb as much knowledge as you possibly can, because you're going to be out there by yourself in 4 years. Now, I'll try to be there with you, but you will be by yourself in that room with that patient. And when you are, you want to be as experienced and as knowledgeable as you possibly can. I congratulate all of you for even getting here today. This is such an accomplishment, but I'm looking forward to congratulate you all in 4 years from now. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb. Great advice. In your program, we had listed Dr. Heather Snyder as our keynote speaker today. Dr. Snyder is one of our alum from 2017, and she's currently the director of the Delta Dental Association, the dental director. Unfortunately, she got this virus thing you may have heard about, and so she's not able to join us. She is booked for next year, though, so if anyone wants to defer and come back next year, okay. That means we are on to the main event, and that main event is the white coat and the oath. So we are now going to present the white coats to the class of 2026, and I'm going to be assisted by Dr. Jeff Parent and President Phelps. Here we go.
Mushna Ahmed, Dallas, Texas.
Yusuf Fawaz Al-Dulaimi, Gilbert, Arizona.
Evan Alfonso, Tampa, Florida.
Ahmed Al Nabilsi, Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
Kaylani Banawa, San Francisco, California.
Ashley Basso from Ironwood, Michigan.
Zoya Batul, Edison, New Jersey.
Megan Bauer, Grapevine, Texas.
Marlinda Begay, Chinle, Arizona.
Rachel Benray, San Diego, California. Eliza Butcher, Chandler, Arizona.
Lori Chang, Cupertino, California.
Sarah Eberly, Sandpoint, Idaho.
Catherine Anubazor, Maple Grove, Minnesota.
Melina Garibian, Irvine, California.
Arya Gusemi, Phoenix, Arizona.
Saba Gibi, Los Angeles, California.
Jake Groberg, Syracuse, Utah.
Gracie Groth, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Alex Hamilton, originally from Rapid City, South Dakota, graduated Bachelor's Biology from University of Colorado at Colorado Springs.
Abanob Hanna, Brooklyn, New York.
Rita Haydo from San Diego, California.
Courtney Hong from Gilbert, Arizona. Swan Huang, Queens, New York.
Sarah Hong, Sacramento, California.
Tiffany Huang from Los Angeles, California.
Joseph Huyn, Yorba Linda, California.
Ami Keita, San Diego, California.
Inga Ishu, Glenview, Illinois.
Muhammad Ali Jaber, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Hamid Khan Jamal, Dublin, Ohio.
Samantha Johnson, Atlanta, Georgia.
Thomas Contreras, Akron, Ohio.
Safa Abdelmenam Khalil, Detroit, Michigan.
Rayon Kim, Raleigh, North Carolina.
Lydia Corial, San Diego, California.
Taylor Lavender, Nashville, Tennessee.
Ryan Lee, Fremont, California.
Shayna Levinson, Seattle, Washington.
Lanview Liu, California.
Taryn Lynn Lum, Honolulu, Hawaii.
Adrian McLean, Lynchburg, Virginia.
Christian McGalloway, Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
Nima Modiri, Woodland Hills, California.
Ali Mohammed, Dearborn Heights, Michigan.
Carlos Moya, Sacramento, California.
Eddie Mwadi, Pacifica, California.
Rakan Mukatash, Lincoln, California.
Michael Wynn, Seattle, Washington.
Nikki Nguyen, Temecula, California.
Teresa Nguyen, San Diego, California.
Brooklyn Noble, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Morgan Parks, Perham, Minnesota.
Akshani Patel, Central Valley, New York.
Janique Patel, Birmingham, Alabama.
Pyle Patel, Cleveland, Ohio.
Taylor Pahevitz, Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Zain Al-Abidin Rabia, Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Sonia Ramirez, Lancaster, California.
Zainab Rana, Fresno, California.
Sarah Reamer, Gilbert, Arizona.
Gianna Rico, Globe, Arizona.
Benjamin Siegel, Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hessam Sharifi, San Diego, California.
Milind Singh Shergill, Yuba City, California.
Rafe Siddiqui from Houston, Texas.
Habib Solomon, this is for my family, my fiance, and my friends.
Ty Standage, Mesa, Arizona.
Radwan Tasabahji, Dallas, Texas.
Anivarthani Thanikela from Dallas, Texas.
Morris Ty, Sammamish, Washington.
Hedia Visa, Los Angeles, California.
Mansi Verma, Atlanta, Georgia.
Rebecca Webb Lane, San Angelo, Texas.
Blake Wilcox, Henderson, Nevada.
Fanny Wong, San Francisco, California.
Razzle Zaponta, Porter Ranch, California.
Afsana Mashraqi, Scottsdale, Arizona.
Anita Tanarsu from Tamil Nadu, India.
Congratulations, everyone. Well done. Part 2. I'd now like to invite Dr. Wayne Cobb, our Vice Dean, who will administer the oath to the profession. Dr. Cobb?
Thank you and congratulations. It's exciting, isn't it? Give yourselves a hand. Yes. As we prepare to take this oath, I'd like to take a few minutes to remind the students and explain to your families why this moment is so important. I'll ask the students to listen for a moment, recall what we talked about yesterday, and reflect as I speak directly to your families for just a minute. As Dr. Tremble and I discussed with the students, today they will begin the process of preparing to enter the profession of dentistry. Allow me to give you some idea of what they will be taking on. Notice I said they will be taking an oath to the profession. They are not taking an oath to the patients. They're not taking an oath to ASDOH. They are not taking an oath to the community or the public, and they are not taking an oath to themselves. They are taking an oath to the profession. Being part of a profession, especially one as respected and venerable as dentistry, brings with it many privileges and responsibilities. The one I will emphasize today is the privilege and responsibility to fulfill a social contract, a phrase we didn't really mention yesterday. I will illustrate that social contract with an example from my practice that I described to the students yesterday. For 14 years after coming to ASDOH, I reduced my practice to a day a week or so at the Phoenix Indian Medical Center. Being a contract dentist, I saw patients only one day a week, and as a consequence, usually didn't see the same patient twice. Unlike a dentist at a community health center or private practice, I didn't have the privilege of establishing long-term relationships with my patients. Patients would be assigned to me one day and someone else the next. Nonetheless, I would come into the operatory in a white coat, metaphorically, and introduce myself for the first time to this patient as Dr. Cobb. We would exchange pleasantries. I would explain what we were going to do that day, ask them if they had any questions or concerns. I would fully address them, and then a remarkable thing happened. Something that directly symbolizes the social contract they will be pledging to uphold. After meeting me for the first time only minutes before, That patient allowed me to lay them back. They opened their mouth. They allowed me to inject drugs and perform irreversible procedures about which they knew practically nothing and which they could not directly observe me perform. Isn't that remarkable? In exchange for that trust, our profession's contract with that patient, and by extension, society, is that I have a license to practice. I've demonstrated competence to the appropriate regulatory agencies. I have the training and expertise to perform the procedures proposed. I have kept up on the latest techniques and materials. I am doing the procedures in a safe and effective manner possible, and most important, whatever I will do, I am going to do in the patient's best interests and not my own best interest. All of that is taken for granted by the patient because of the special position of trust the profession has with society and the social contract that every dentist is obligated to uphold. Now, students, to illustrate it another way, I would suggest that until today, you have pursued your education. Your efforts and your education have largely been for your benefit. Your priorities, your goals, your interests, your education. Yes, along the way you volunteered, you helped others, you contributed to society, mainly because that is who you are. But also as it was a means to an end, to get you here. Today, that changes. Today, the purpose of your education begins to move away from being solely for your benefit. The purpose of this phase of your education is less and less to benefit you and help you achieve your goals, and more to benefit your patients and society, and is to be used principally to help your patients and society achieve and maintain health. Your time will become less yours, depending on the needs of your patients. Your decisions will become less focused on you and more focused on your patients. And if you are truly to fulfill the social contract that comes along with being part of the dental profession, your priorities are less yours and more those of your patients. I really appreciate a quote from George Pepperdine. He said, "A great gift has been made to every one of us. The privilege of living in the world for a short span of years and the opportunity of doing our part to help the less fortunate, to improve civilization, to advance knowledge. The gift of human life and the opportunity which is ours to serve others should be regarded as a sacred trust. That you consider that sacred trust as you take this oath to the profession is my hope as you continue on your journey. Thank you." I would like all now the white-coated students to please stand, okay? Now, we've talked about this oath a little bit, and so I want to say the words. Listen to me say the words, reflect on them, and then say them with your own emphasis after me. I pledge to faithfully fulfill my obligations as a member of the dental profession. My responsibility is to promote the health of the community and the persons I serve. The health of my patients will be my first commitment. My practice depends upon the trust of my patients. I will not violate that trust. I will do no harm. I will honor my peers. I will respect the diversity they bring to the profession and commit to our mutual success. I will honor my patients' dignity. I will be their zealous advocate, sensitive to their feelings, needs, and thoughts. I will not discriminate against any person in my decisions and care. I recognize the limits of my competence. I will seek knowledge and inspiration from my colleagues whenever my patient's needs require. I will strive to improve my knowledge and skills. I am responsible for contributing to the improvement of the community. I will strive to prevent disease and to correct adverse social conditions. I will serve as both a teacher and role model for my patients, my successors, and the public. I am responsible for upholding my profession's integrity. I will strive to counsel those deficient in character or competence and expose those who engage in fraud or deception. I will use my professional knowledge according to the laws of humanity. With this oath, I willingly assume these responsibilities. Congratulations.
Class of 2026, welcome to the profession. Have a seat. I would now like to welcome Dr. Craig Phelps, president of AT-Still University, to say a few words.
Thank you, Dr. Trombley. Wayne, that was inspirational reading of the oath. I can't wait. 46 months, we'll be back and doing this officially again, so that was great. Thank you. Dr. Wong, thank you for the national anthem, and thank you for helping out with the white coats there. I noticed a few were buttoned still, and so you coming up there and having them ready made it a little bit easier for Doc there, so thank you. I want to thank the folks at the Mesa Arts Center. Boy, you're here for all of our great ceremonies and graduations, and we really appreciate the work that you do to make sure that the event is safe and goes off well. Also, our folks at AT-Still University, the ASDOH staff who put this together, folks from our student affairs, communication and marketing, probably some of our IT folks are up there. They're usually up in the booth. Just thanks everybody today for this ceremony and the following two ceremonies that you're going to be helping and participating in. Dr. Trombley, thank you for your words earlier. Dr. Cobb, wow, a dentist, an executive director, a state representative, a white coat speaker. I'm not sure what else is on the list, but thank you for being here. And President Frost, thank you for being here also. It really is important that our professional organizations support the students and our young healthcare professionals so that they can learn from the experience, they can be supported in the community, they can fight for your rights as a provider. And so thank you. It means a lot that you're here with us today. Boy, we'll be looking forward to Dr. Snyder coming next year, and I would encourage you, if your schedule permits and you want to come and hear her, once again, our graduates are some of the most phenomenal speakers and keep and inspire us. Maria, thank you for your words. I think you're ready to do a white coat ceremony keynote speech. That was just amazing, just amazing. And the graduates, as you came across, wow, that was pretty neat. You are going to do some great things. You have a phenomenal faculty and staff at ASDOH and leadership. I would say probably the best in the country. And I don't say that easily, but you're going to be learning from some of the greatest people, not only from a skill level, but from a heart level and from a compassion level. And as you go out to our community health center partners, we didn't really talk much about them today, but you're that bright light that shows up every so often, right? That makes them think, makes them re-engage, make them wonder what's going on outside the community health center world, what's going on in the world of dental education. And you'll be bringing that light not only to our patient care centers on our Mesa campus and our extended campuses in the Phoenix area, but also when you go out to those community health centers, you represent hope and you represent the future. And when you're out at those community health centers and in our patient care centers, those young folks who come in that never thought about being a dentist, you'll have an opportunity to share that and talk about your wonderful journey. Congratulations on receiving your white coat. As you heard earlier, your white coat symbolizes a contract between you and your patients that will last a lifetime. Patients will be sharing their most intimate details with you and your healthcare team. Patients will allow their children, spouses, sons, daughters, parents, and themselves to be exposed to an inexperienced student under faculty supervision in order to educate you for the benefit of humankind. No other profession allows this. Think about a high-speed drill in the mouth of a child, and you're holding it, right? Some really, really, really big things happening. I know that because my son, he's 14 and a half now, but he received his dental care at the clinic on the Mesa campus, patient care center on the Mesa campus, and now he sees one of our ASDOH graduates for his continued care. And you've never seen anybody so excited to go see the dentist, and that's because of the compassion and the care that the ASDOH faculty and students have shown. Your priority is to always act in the best interest of your patient, no matter their political beliefs, race, gender, preferences, income, age, education, or status in life. Remember that. When there is pandemonium about, and there will be, pause and ask your team what is best for our patient. Collectively, you and your team, with the support of internal and external resources, can take care of just about anything and anyone who comes your way. It just takes a leader in a white coat to help make it happen. You'll have a rich and rewarding life through these relationships that you build with your patients and that you build with your colleagues. Please keep that original white coat, Dr. Cobb. It's good to keep that original white coat. In fact, what I recommend is take this when you're done, when the work is done with your white coat, put it in your pocket, hang it up in your closet. This has a lot of really cool stuff, right? It has the oath to the profession, which someday hopefully you'll have a big one displayed in your office, because that's the kind of dentist that I want to go to, right? Someone who fulfills that oath. But also is the list of your class. So it's kind of handy to have that, someday when you're thinking back. And then a list of the folks who supported you and a little bit about the school that you went to. So when your white coat's job is done, this one's done, and you get the next one, keep that original one, hang it up in the closet. It'll remind you of the dedication, the hard work that you have done and the support of your families. Thank you for inviting me to share in this special day, and thank you for letting ATSU share this journey with you. Until we meet again, as I said, in about 46 months, to celebrate your graduation, Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, President Phelps, for joining us today and welcoming our class of 2026 into the profession. It's been an honor to have been kind of the MC for this. I appreciate the opportunity to represent our school, our university, our profession, and to welcome you into the profession. Thanks to all those who have helped out with the white coat. Let me add on to what Dr. Phelps said. It doesn't happen just by happenstance. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and thank you to all the family and friends who've traveled either from Gilbert or from across the country to see us here today. I know it means so much to the members of the class of 2026. So we have reached the end of our formal ceremony, but we do still have one more important thing to do that is not technically part of the ceremony, and that is to get a class photo, which will be taken up here on the stage. So before we have the class come up here on the stage, a couple of things we need to do. One, let's have one final round of applause for the class of 2026. And two, we need to clear the stage. So members of the stage party, thank you for joining us. Okay.